When I was 15 years old, my dad said to me, find new friends. Immediately. Not next semester, not think about it, now. We were sitting at the dining room table after dinner, and I was staring down at my dirty dish instead of looking at him. I knew if we made eye contact, I was going to explode. You see, from his point of view, I was surrounded by underachievers and troublemakers. From my point of view, he was wrong. I remember thinking, this man is about to ruin my life. It was not a suggestion he made. There would be no conversation. Whether I liked it or not, my environment was changing. Now, at 15, I didn't know to call that redirection. I called that unfair. I called that unnecessary. All I knew was the script of my life was being adjusted. Now, by script, I mean that powerful, quiet story I've written about how my life's supposed to go. You know it. You have one too. Okay. So here's what I've come to learn. Not every disruption is a test of endurance. Here's why that matters. Most of us treat almost every disruption like it is one. When life becomes unscripted, we default to maximum effort. We'll double down. We'll push harder. We'll claim grit as our protection, proving just how tough we are. See, in 1981, Berkeley professor Barry Staw and his colleagues described this pattern as what's called the threat rigidity effect, meaning when uncertainty or a threatening situation arises, we narrow our focus, fall back on familiar patterns, and often push ourselves beyond our normal limits. Now, this was very helpful for our ancestors to survive in a very dangerous world. Now, we call it grit and we celebrate it for some reason. I'm not here to say grit is a villain or that resilience is wrong. Believe me, mental toughness matters. These traits will help us hold strong in hard seasons. They teach us to endure. The challenge comes when we continue to use them automatically, because not every disruption is a test of our endurance. Some are just signals. Signals that your circumstances have changed. Signals that the path you are following no longer fits. And the reason we resist these signals, it's not weakness, it's wiring. Behavioral economists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky studied something called loss aversion. Loss aversion is the concept where the emotional hit you take from losing something you already have is usually much stronger than the happiness you gain from getting something new. So take loss aversion, add that to the status quo bias, that's our preference for things that already feel familiar. You have a powerful instinct that's ready to take over. Defend my script. Push more. When disruption shows up, our reflex is to push harder and assume we are the problem. Stanford psychologist Lee Ross gave a name to that tendency. He called it the fundamental attribution error. In English, when something goes unscripted, we overestimate our personal failure and we underestimate changing conditions. We will mistake a shift in our circumstances for a flaw in our character. You can even hear it in terms that we've come to celebrate. No pain, no gain. Right? We have been conditioned to believe that discomfort proves progress. So when disruption does show, we don't ask for direction, we just increase our output. And this assumption keeps us loyal to scripts that may already be expired. Take Blockbuster, for example. In the year 2000, they had the opportunity to purchase Netflix for $50 million. As we know, they passed. It wasn't because Blockbuster lacked ambition and growth. It was because they were following a script that had expired without them realizing it. They believed late fees would continue to be profitable and brick and mortar would always dominate. Blockbuster didn't need more grit. They needed awareness. They believed the disruption to the business model they were facing was a test of endurance. It wasn't. Years later, another disruption showed up and the market shifted. Many of us found ourselves with scripts that were crumbling quickly. My natural instincts took over. Push, prove, persist. I figured I could outrun the problem by just making more money. So I worked harder, and nothing changed. I once again believed that the disruption was a test of my endurance. I was wrong. While trapped in the emotions of the moment, my fiance, now my wife, she wasn't. And she looked at me and said, I will not marry you until you get this resolved. She wasn't telling me go make more money. What she was saying to me was, you can't out-earn a broken script. She wasn't attacking me. She was naming my disruption. It wasn't income, it was identity. I wasn't fighting a market, I was defending an expired script. So I pushed through and once again was reminded, not every disruption is a test of our endurance. Some of them are mirrors. And hopefully you have someone in your life that loves you enough to be that mirror when it truly is needed. Take a look at your life for a moment. Maybe a job that ended, or a relationship that shifted, or a door that closed. In the moment, almost nothing felt like progress to you. It was feeling like loss. Your natural instinct may have been fight and defend your original plan. Stanford neurobiologist Robert Spolosky has shown that when uncertainty rises, our nervous system does not register minor threat. It registers full-on challenge. And sometimes, when we're in that situation, we will mistake fear for strength. And sometimes, staying strong is staying stuck. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of the damage we have done in our life does not come from quitting something too soon. It comes from holding on too long, staying somewhere that is no longer a fit, carrying a weight that is not ours to carry, protecting an old script because it's too risky to write a new one. When I recognized that pattern change, everything changed. The question no longer was, how do I get back on track? It became, if this is a disruption, is it a test of endurance or is it a signal of change? Once I had that question, everything became clearer. My new awareness set for me new standards. My new standards created newer expectations. And my new expectations took me on a trajectory I had never been on before. What was once disruption became direction. If that question isn't enough, ask yourself, if this is an unscripted moment, what is this moment making possible for me? That question will not guarantee clarity. It will not remove resistance. It will create space for you to respond instead of just react. The original disruption that I had when I was 15 years old, it didn't destroy my life like I thought it would. It redirected it in the most wonderful way. So the next time you are faced with disruption, before you automatically add grit, ask yourself, is this a test or is this a signal? Because the moments in your life before now that broke your script didn't ruin you. It redirected you. And the one you're fighting with right now is not here to challenge you. It's here to move you. Thank you.